Good evening and welcome to Everyday Eric's Top 20 Horror Movies for 2018. So let me tell you what's going to happen here tonight. I went into my closet, I pulled out DVDs and Blu-rays, 20 horror movies that I want to watch this year, 2018, for Halloween. And I put them in some kind of order, number 1 being the best and number 20 being the 20th best. There's no right or wrong answers here, it's just the way I felt here this week. And most importantly, I want to have a conversation because right now I'm just talking into my camera, alone in my apartment. It's not that exciting. So for my subscribers who thank you for subscribing. You are greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. For my subscribers and for new folks who stumble across my video, I do want to have a conversation. Tell me, give me your top 5 horror movies, top 10, top 20, hell, top 50. I truly am interested. I know I missed a ton of movies here, and it's just very hard picking movies. So I'm always looking for new movies and things I missed, or maybe things I haven't seen. So please leave comments and let's make this a discussion. All right, well, with that, let's get started with number 20. 1988, rated R, Pumpkinhead. All right, so Pumpkinhead, starring Lance Henriksen. Who's he? Really? He's Bishop in the movie Aliens. He's the star of this movie, and he has some trouble with Pumpkinhead here. This is written and directed by the legend Stan Winston, a legend in creature design. If you IMDb him, you'll be blown away. Everything you like from the 80s, this guy did. And he wrote this, he directed this, and he created this creature. So that's pretty cool. A new story, a new horror tale. And I dig it. It's pretty cool. All right, number 19. We have Zack Snyder in the house. Dawn of the Dead from 2004. The big thing about this movie is the cast was basically a lot of unknowns at the time. And now some of them have gone on to some pretty big things. So we have Sarah Polley, we have Ving Rhames, Jake Weber. I like his performance a lot. He's a very likable hero. Ty Burrell from Modern Family. He's a pretty funny dude who went on to that show for many years. And Michael Kelly from House of Cards and a lot of dramas. He's a great dramatic actor. So good people in this. And it's a real slick movie with really cool music. Lounge Against the Machine has a song on here. So very cool music, very scary, fast zombies. Might be my favorite Zack Snyder movie, who knows? Probably is, I think. Number 18, coming in from Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez, 1996, From Dusk Till Dawn. Again, another movie loaded with stars. I mean, you have George Clooney, Harvey Keitel, Juliette Lewis. You have Pittsburgh's own Tom Savini showing up as a character called Sex Machine with a very interesting codpiece. Cheech Marin. So this is a pretty cool movie. It starts off like a Quentin Tarantino movie, a typical one, maybe like a bank robbery. And before you know it, these folks meet some even tougher characters in a Mexican bar. Is it Mexico or is it along the border for sure? So really good movie. Oh, and Salma Hayek. Pretty unforgettable performance in this movie as well. All right, number 17. It's Return of the Living Dead, an 80s classic from 1985. This is directed by Dan O'Brien. It could be written by Dan O'Brien too. He's a writer on a lot of Alien movies, oddly enough. And he also is a writer for another movie on our list coming up, a Tobe Hooper movie. That is a personal favorite of mine. So this is pure 80s, 80s music, 80s acting. Like a 16 Candles goes to the graveyard and zombies come out and get them. And I think it's meant to be a little bit funny too. Yeah, I think so. But I like the creature design and zombie gags, so I like it. I want to watch it this year. Coming in at number 16, a man who knows fashion, Frederick Krueger. That's right, Robert Englund in the house. I'm going to go, I have the 4-pack here with the 4 movies, but I'm going to go with a Nightmare on Elm Street, the very first one. Second one's not so hot. Dream Warriors is pretty cool. But yeah, Wes Craven. We all know Wes Craven, everything he's done. So 1984, A Nightmare on Elm Street. Oh, and starring, sort of, not really starring, but the boyfriend is Johnny Depp. So one of his very first movies. Okay, number 15. A movie based on the Lovecraft story, Reanimator, 1985. This movie's not rated. It could be because of the performance Barbara Crampton gives. She is pretty unforgettable in this movie. This movie's not really for kids, I don't think, this one. And Stuart Gordon is the director, and he did a lot of horror movies, and he co-wrote Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Kind of random, but okay. So yeah, Reanimator. Very interesting visual effects. Of course, they're practical effects. Some very interesting stuff in here. And again, this one's really not for the kids, but yeah. Okay, on to number 14. A classic of Italian horror from the master of Italian horror, Dario Argento, and this is his Suspiria. Yes, a ballet school where things get weird and freaky fast. Reach a crazy bug nuts climax at the end. Has a very haunting music. Italian horror, you can't quite recreate it. They did remake this. In fact, it's coming out soon. I know there's a trailer out there for a remake of Suspiria. I saw it. It looks terrible because Hollywood cannot recreate the feel, the atmosphere, the mood of Italian 70s horror. Just like Hollywood can't recreate an Italian spaghetti western with Clint Eastwood or Charles Bronson. You can't do it there and you can't do it here, so don't even try. It's an experience, these Italian horror movies, so definitely check out Suspiria. Moving on to number 13. Do I have here the greatest video game movie ever made? Christoph Gans, Silent Hill. So Christoph Gans is going to direct another movie on my list coming up. But this one here stars Sean Bean. Of course, it's Eddard Stark from Game of Thrones. And the movie, it was inspired from a town in Pennsylvania that has a coal mine fire underneath the town that's burning to this day. And it's my understanding that the town is abandoned because of that. And of course, this movie takes things to extremes, I hope. Hope this doesn't really happen there when you go. But yeah, it's freaky, and Alice Krige plays a freaky character, and she is the Borg Queen in the Star Trek movies. So, yep, it's a good time. Number 12 on our list is a movie by horror master Tobe Hooper. It's Life Force. Now, this movie was written by Dan O'Brien, who directed Return of the Living Dead earlier on our list. But yeah, Life Force, it's about space vampires coming to Earth to drain our energy. It's a bold vision. It's an ambitious movie. And Melinda May plays one of the space vampires. And her performance is quite unforgettable, kind of like Barbara Crampton. Two similarly unforgettable performances. Maybe not one for the kids either, but yeah, Life Force. Definitely check it out if you haven't seen it. Okay, down to 11 on our list. Alrighty. We have Don Coscarelli's 1979 classic, Phantasm. Yes, if you ever wanted to know what happens in a funeral home after hours and want to be freaked out forever, watch Phantasm. You got this creepy dude, and you got a ball with like a spiky thingy, and yeah, I know there are also little Jawa type characters in this movie, and I think there was a little bit of a controversy about, did this movie copy Star Wars or did Star Wars copy this movie? Star Wars came out in 1977, 78, and this came out in 79, so I don't know. Then again, a Jawa is not that complicated. It's someone small with a hood, and they run around. But if you are going to see Phantasm, the story sort of concludes and Phantasm 2. So you might want to get Phantasm 2, 1 and 2, when you watch it some night if you watch it. So, okay, that's the list 20 through 11. And, in the next day or so, I'll go through numbers 10 all the way down to number 1. Hope you had fun. Thanks for watching. Get some sleep. Please leave comments. Tell me where I messed up or mispronounced someone's name. I'm sure I definitely did that. So definitely do that for me. All right. With that, good night, and I will see you on the new.